I asked the Santa for Christmas to bring the criminal code of Latvia.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was my present. So
Santa was like, really?
Yeah. We see that average return on investment for the repaid debts was around 35-40% per annum, which brings it quite high.
INDEMO, as an investment democracy joined together as a name, there has to be a story behind the name and how does that came into play.
It is already 3 years. Since then, I haven't regretted my decision to go there. Before we go into the potential products, I will give you maybe the small insight.
What the person should know about discounted debts, like how that works initially to understand that investment.
Šiandienos pokalbis su INDEMO CEO. Nukeliavom pas kaimynus Latvius tam, kad pasižvalgytume po INDEMO ofisą, pabendrautume su komanda ir paklausinėtume apie investicijų galimybės bei rizikas. Kadangi verslas siūlo tikrai didelę grąžą, man visada įdomu pabendrauti su pačia komanda, kuri stovi už verslą. Pristatau Sergejų. Po 10 bankinėje industrijoje ir dar kelių metų sutelktinio finansavimo pasaulyje, jis nusprendė, kad investment democracy arba INDEMO yra jo sekantis karjeros žingsnis. Visi, kas jau išbandėte platformą, šis pokalbis pravers įsivertinant strategiją. Pokalbis angliškai, bet su komanda padirbėjom ties lietuviškai subtitrais, kad kuo didesnis jūsų kiekis galėtų suprasti informaciją. Gero žiūrėjimo.
All right, Sergey. Well, welcome to the podcast. We came to Latvia to film the full episode about INDEMO. It was great to meet the team, say hi to everyone, visit the office yesterday, spend some quality time with you and the team. Today we have quite a few questions about you, about INDEMO, about investment democracy and how it all started. And I think we'll jump straight into it, unless you want to say something to the investors at the moment.
Labadiena, Emilis. Labadiena. Brangus Lietuvos investuotojai.
Yeah.
I'm glad to meet you in Riga and host you in Riga. So it will be, I suppose, very interesting and challenging work today to go through all the questions we collected from the community. So let's roll in.
Sure. Let's start with a bit of history. So you worked for quite a significant amount of time in the banking industry. And if I'm not mistaken, that was like 10 years. Not a lot of people can say, I spent and survived 10 years of banking system, because 10 years ago, banking system was completely different compared to now. Now, what motivated you after 10 years of history in banking sector to look for something new, to, move to a different field, because it's still finance related?
It was my first basically professional place where I started my career. And I would say it was one of the best times for banking to spend there 10 years. I mean, in terms of in which time slot I get into. So I started in 2009, straight after financial crisis. So at that time, bank just completed, I would say, crisis management and started rebuilding the business model and trying to find new like business niche to address. In that particular decade, we saw that it was start of the startup fintech movement all over the Europe, and of course all over the Baltics. Also, I suppose Lithuanian market was impacted well. We saw a lot of businesses being created by young people. So it was also like the call for me that banks becoming too over-regulated, too complicated organizations to work in. You're not, even if I completed my career there being the middle managers. I was managing the legal department, which was managing investment services in the bank. But even being the manager, you at one point understood that you're not impacting, so you're not decision maker somehow, because the organization is too overcomplicated, because even I suppose the board members even feel that they're not adopting any decision, and some decision are being made or by the FSA or even ECB and other external stakeholders. So you're just like swimming in the river which goes somewhere. And in fintechs, in startups, of course, it was like brilliant time to get. And at one point, I decided that it's time to change the career, and I parted ways with the bank. It was like really 10 years and 1 month. I even get the gold medal, which the bank was giving to the loyal employees, because like if you spend 10 years, so I spent 10 years,
so
and
like,
after
thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. At the meeting when I get this medal, it was like 2 or 3 days left. I told everything like big kudos to all my teammates, And and then I shifted to the fintechs, to the investment services fintech.
So you transitioned from like 10 years of experience in very structured environment, then supporting already existing startup with quite a significant team, like 200 people is already like, it's a startup, but it's already well on the way. And then moving to the role where you look after the startup and look after the small team and actually make decisions on a daily basis. I think like hundreds of decisions of how we're gonna navigate that river. How was that transition to actually, take the lead on from the legal, I believe, background to the management position running the company? I'm pretty sure that was a bit stressful as well.
Well, it was, but still, I would say that my legal background helped me a lot because when you are working as in-house lawyer, especially in financial services, usually you became the nanny for the for the stakeholders who are engaged. But without the jokes, you need to understand and see the whole scene. You should understand all the processes. It's not just about creating contract or the procedure. You should step into shoes of all the stakeholders, make the couple of turnarounds, and then imagine the process, how it is in the real life, how it should be improved to be more effective, and on the then put it on the paper. And as we were discussing yesterday during our coffee break, then I felt that if you even want to adopt some business decision or introduce something or make some decision which might be slightly aggressive, being the lawyer, you're on the other side of the force, Remember the Star Wars, and that's it. It's your job. You should be very conservative, risk aware. You should break all the processes. It's like role of the lawyers in house. But on the other hand, it's really helped me to be prepared to step into the shoes of a businessman who is running the business. And I would say probably the 13 years of the career and legal side matured me that it's time to go out of the comfort zone and move to the creating the own company and starting our own business. And it is already 3 years. Since then, I haven't regretted my decision to go there.
So far going very well. So we'll see how, another 3 years go.
Sure.
Let's talk a little bit more about INDEMO specifically. So let's start with a name. Not a lot of people pick that up straight away, but INDEMO as an investment democracy joined together as a name. There has to be a story behind the name and how does that came into play, and what was the decision, where's the democracy in investment comes from. Could you share a light on that side?
We were thinking on the name. We changed a couple of the ideas, and now one of the co-founder said, let's call it INDEMO, like investment democracy, because the idea behind why it is investment democracy was quite simple, because all of us, the core of our co-founders, we all have a background from wealth management, so we all worked almost in one bank in different roles, and we all the time worked with quite good investment products, but these products were reserved for big clients, for big tickets, for clients who could afford to enter with 100,000 or 500,000 or even more. And for us, being the bank clerks, bank employees, we felt that for us it's impossible. Even our salaries were middle class salaries, we can afford these products. The idea of INDEMO with first products and new upcoming products and products we will see in the midterm horizon, it is the products which are somehow reserved to big guys, to big clients, institutional, professional, to put them and allow retail investors, similar people as we are, you or us, to try them out, to put them in their portfolio and earn from them.
Well, you made it as accessible as it can be, considering, I think, the lower price ticket at the moment that INDEMO is 10 euros, if I'm not
Correct.
mistaken.
Yeah. So we wanted to make the entrance ticket as low as possible. So like, come on, like 10 euro is like a cost of business lunch somewhere in the Baltics now. So everybody without any regret would try out, I don't know, try 10 euro, check whether it's performing. If it is performing, well, you could like go and allocate your private capital more.
Let's talk numbers a little bit. Like so far, INDEMO already achieved some milestones. I know we spent some time talking about future milestones with the goals yesterday, but could you share the numbers in terms of like attracted assets, already clients who registered and tried the platform, already assets which initially got sold and repaid, and initially the money which investors already got back? Because I think that's the majority of the question. 10 euros investment. No one can argue with that. Everyone will try that, but everyone's like, okay, how many? Like, I don't want to be the first one. How many people already tried that? How many succeeded? Maybe you can share a light on that.
Yeah, sure. I suppose numbers are very significant. So let's start maybe with the key numbers, usually for investment services, which are making impact. So current portfolio or asset under management we have in INDEMO in terms of the notes which were funded is around 4 million euro. And of course, when we speak about the registered investors or community who are already with INDEMO, then it is more than 2,700 users which registered, so basically our clients. And of course, considering the discounted debts, the non-performing loans were currently is the first and main product the investor community is investing. The key traction, key thing which gives credential, of course, it is the number of repayments. If you look at the stats for the 2 debts repayments which we already announced, and then the money went to the investors, then the total amount of funds which were repaid was 410,000 euro repaid, and among these 400,000, 45,000 were paid as a profit. So as basically return on investment, we see that average return on investment for the repaid debts was around 35-40% per annum, which brings it quite high.
I just want to highlight that part because I had some experience in that too, because when we first started working together, I was like, all right, let me try INDEMO platform. Like, I always think like, back test it, see what happens. I think I invested like 250 euros just as a in some of the notes, and just to see what happens. I think in 3 weeks, one of the objects, one of the property got initially sold and sold off. And I think money-wise, from the investment side, I think I only got 10 or 20 euros back. But the profit on that, because it was such a short time, was like 80-something%. And it was crazy. Like, I was like, well, that's like unreal. And I'm like, I've seen this expectation from the platform itself that it says 15%, but the potential of actual profit is significantly higher. Now, I always think that, we should plan conservatively, and if the returns are higher, then no one's complaining, rather than saying, you can achieve significantly higher and then get returns at like 15 or 20% and say like, that's not working, this is, nonsense, and so on and so on. So in my experience, that's like a very good initial validation. So when people try, invest 10 euros, 20 euros, 50 euros, whatever the sum is, and see that validation of the money coming back, they're like, oh, this is working. What if I add more money and go through that side?
I should also say that we were thinking also on the matter of the gold-plated rule of investments diversification. So you should not put all the eggs in one basket, the main rule. So from the initial setup, when we were creating the security, we made the setup that you invest in 8 different debts by default. So you cannot choose only one debt and invest all your money in that. And it will also give investors possibility to get repayments. to get the repayment of the initial investment and the profit when each and every debt in the note is being repaid, not waiting till the date X when all the debts are repaid. It is a very significant, I would say, value proposition of the product. And of course, so also we need focus investors on that we had a couple of investors which think that it's some sort of short-term investment, but like I'm really glad that also in terms of your narrative in your channel, you focus investors that investing, and we'll speak about passive investing, like passive retail capital. Still, we look at investments as mid-term or long-term investment horizon. The investment on INDEMO, still it's around two years at average to get the repaid amount and get the profit.
Let's take a random user who listens to our podcast and says, you know what, I want to try that. I want a piece of that. Like I heard the numbers, I saw the return, I saw the average return, I can accept the risks, but I'm reading this discounted debt investments. And majority of retail investors have never heard that before. I don't believe anyone else, with exception to INDEMO, offers that to retail investors in Europe altogether. I think you're the only business altogether. So what would that person what the person should know about discounted debts, like how that works initially to understand that investment? Because I think, education usually manages the risk. Otherwise, if you don't understand what you're investing in, you're most likely going to lose money in general because you're going to do something what you have not planned for. Could you briefly explain what that discounted debt is? How does that work? How does, if I invest 1,000 euros, how would that money actually bring return? Because, the profit comes from somewhere.
All right. So quite let's make an answer maybe in a structured way, because there is couple of sections to address here. So discounted debt, yeah. So we call it. I would say the branded name. So I would say we called our product in such a way because I would say it underlines the idea. It underlines the essence of the product. Because initially, eventually, basically, investors are investing in NPLs or non-performing loan investments, which were at some point originated by some bank. In our case, it's Spain, Spanish key banks, like high street banks, biggest banks in Spain. And at one point, the debtor canceled their payments, so stopped paying, and this loan became non-performing for some time. It could be like couple of months, it could be years, so there is different products on the market. Okay, so the key thing is that why it's called discounted. It is the idea, or basically the main parameter of the product, that the banks, now we are speaking about the Spain, but also in other European jurisdictions, usually sell such debts with a discount. Well, I suppose it doesn't make sense now to go in too much in detail why are the reasons the banks are selling with a discount. Well, just to briefly to touch it, it's because of the capital requirements rules, which in EU are quite strict. So for bank, it's not very profitable to hold big portfolio of debtors. For bank, in terms of the business case, it's more beneficial to sell the debt at a discount to the professional servicers for whom it is their professional business. So it is why we call them discounted debt, because when you invest on INDEMO, when you get the exposure to the debt, you invest it with a discount.
So if I take a, let's say, practical example, let's say a person A lives in Spain, has a flat in Barcelona, like you mentioned, for 300,000. For whatever reason, that person they have a loan in a bank for a simple mortgage.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, that person stopped paying the mortgage for a certain amount of time. Now, it's the best interest for the bank to get rid of that loan as fast as possible due to regulations, due to limitations, due to not focusing on this business deal altogether. Now, INDEMO steps in here, picks some of the best offers from the market and aim for at least 50 or 40% of a discount from the real value. Now, this is where investors support that investment through 8 objects at one time, straight away through one of the notes. And as INDEMO goes through all of the legal work behind the scenes, which estimated to continue for roughly 2 years, that's the 2 years horizon metric, once the sale or once the exit happens at already also discounted from a market price, you're most likely looking at like 30-40% difference. This is what we've seen in the first year of actual statistics. I think you mentioned 38 or 39% current average.
Yep.
Is that correct?
Yeah, but I mean, devil is in the details, you know.
Yeah.
So I would like to
Let's find it.
let's find it. Yeah. So let's make small note here. So the key thing is there that INDEMO is not supplying debts. INDEMO is investment vehicle. It's marketplace, which in a very simple, structured, handy way creates financial products, offers them to investors. So basically creates all the marketing and other stuff, and then services the investors, gives them the service. So so it's one thing which I wanted to.
So it's like a marketplace where investors can pick which ones they would
so
like
currently
to.
it's discounted debts. With the time, with development plans, it will be different. Maybe we will touch upon the potential instruments today. But currently, so we are market for discounted debts. But in Spain, it is very crucial role that we have a cooperation partners, which are professional market participants. So as INDEMO is licensed to provide investment services by the Central Bank of Latvia, our cooperation partners to work in that particular market in Spain have the authorization from the Central Bank of Spain, Bank of Spain, to work with the debtors to buy such debts.
Let's talk a little bit more about the marketplace, because INDEMO is marketplace at the moment. Discounted debts is like the main focus. I believe, again, no promises, but by end of the year, most likely investors will see some additional ads there. But if we envision a slightly longer period of time, let's say 5 years, what do you think the main difference will be between INDEMO now and INDEMO in 5 years? Let's talk a bit more about that marketplace and additional products.
Sure. I would say before we go into the potential products, I will give you maybe the small insight. We already shared the concept idea of it among our community. Secondary market.
Okay.
So let's think about that. We see when we speak about INDEMO, it's not just a debt investing venue or loan investing platform. We look at INDEMO as a alternative investing or alternative investment venue where investors could invest in different alternatives. Recently, Forbes gave the outlook that already, if you look like on US market, then around 20-25% of the capital, the current generation of wealth, which is millennials, as we are, is allocating to alternatives. The main concern when we go to the alternatives, when we speak about alternative investments, is exit. It's not a liquid instrument. There is no stock market. There is no stock exchange for alternatives. Is the alternatives secured? Indeed, it's secured. It's backed by some real asset, either real estate or some physical stock. Wines. If we speak about investing in some masterpieces, and going to luxury cars, whatever. So secured. Okay, it's clear. Yeah. So the second one, it gives potential profit. Is the level of profit high? Indeed, it's usual 2 decimals, 2 decimals return or even higher. Sure. And the last checkbox, which is left empty, it's not liquid. There is no exit. So for us, the main, we start with discounted debts, but for any other alternatives which will be added, we are creating the secondary market concept, which will allow investors to exit from the instrument, from the product at any stage. When we are speaking about secondary market on INDEMO, we want to create the concept which is similar to the stock market or to the stock market of bonds, or basically bond market. What are the main rules when we speak about the bond market? The people enter at the initial stage, at the subscription, initial placement. Some people enter at the end when it is close to maturity, so the risks are lower, but the price is higher. And here it's the same. So if we look at the discounted debts, the main maybe I would say value proposition, the main thing for the discounted debts or NPLs is that it's very structured process. which with the time bring you to the profit or to the exit. And if you enter at the initial stage, for example, when it was just bought from the bank, and when you are after some year or something like that, when you have passed the legal procedure, the trial, the court procedure, the debt is not worth of the same amount it was at the initial phase, because your risks, basically the key risks during this trial was like eliminated, and the price is higher. And if we speak about discounts, remember, so at the initial phase, for example, the discount was around 40-45%. At the end of the trial, the discount will be 30%. So basically 15% it's the profit or like margin. So which means that the secondary market will allow you not to sit till the end. You could enter the discounted debt at the initial phase and sell it after 1 year. And you will gain probably around the same return which you would like. You basically was declared like 15% or 10%. Okay, so still. And we heard already from other market players, there will be the investors who will be like sort of snipers, who will be sitting and waiting the somebody exiting and buying the debt at the later stages with a view that it will be recovered quite fast and their money will work fast, and the ROI return on investment on time will be much higher. So the secondary market, it's really something that it is our top focus for 2025, I would say, the start of 2025. And if this concept will be implemented, that the secondary market will work not just for discounted debts, for any alternatives, which will make to outperform all other asset classes, which I would say are available on the loan investing market. And the next product which we our plan is to list, present and launch before this year ends, is also mortgage loan investing, so slightly similar. So, but still, if here you invest in debts which were bought from the banks and there is no cash flow before the exit, before the recovery, but when you will invest in mortgage loan investments, they're called such way, you invest in the part of the loan, you get the regular schedule, regular repayments, and basically you get the cash flow.
I think that's something what a lot of clients are excited about, because passive income, cash flow focus is something what majority of people are looking in investments. All right, let's jump in a few questions about you, because people usually enjoy the backstory to understand the person behind running the company, because it's always curious what the person who runs the company does. Let's start with like the world of finance. Still, starting job straight in the banking industry is something you normally focus on or pick something, or it just lands you there for whatever reason. What happened to sort of in your early years that you end up in specifically finance sort of focused area? I know it's still legal, but legal and finance is still related to the finance.
Probably the listeners would like to see some stories that I was super focused in my being the toddler, that I will be banking officer and etc. No, it really, as usual, like I'm usual person as we are all of us. So it's usual story. It was really coincidence. So indeed, I was quite focused on going the legal studies. So it was something that I remember I asked. It was around 10 years old. I asked the Santa for Christmas to bring the criminal code of Latvia.
Oh,
yeah. So it was my present. So
Santa was like, really?
Yes. Legal was adequate way to go. But when I especially the folks which have the legal background and went legal studies, usually for lawyers there is a lot of different fields to go, and I would say my sentiment after I ended my bachelor degree was to go some sort of administrative lawyer way, like municipal lawyer way, and it was 2009, and like it was hard time in Latvia, probably in Lithuania the same. It was like spike of the financial crisis, and like the people were fired in all the like possible places, and like to get the job, even I had like summa cum laude, like with distinction diploma. It was really hard to get the job, and by coincidence, I would say, through the like my classmate, I met the guy who was working in the bank in the same division, and he told that they are looking for the junior lawyer to join, and they offered like the place in the legal department, and of course I joined.
Let's go back to that initial time when you got introduced to investing in general, because still, starting in a bank, at some point you will be forced to understand that investing exists, and pretty sure that you will do some investing yourself. So could you introduce the guys to your first investment decision? And was it good? Was it bad? Was it, maybe there's a funny story behind that?
The first investment experience, as we were laughing yesterday, so it was in middle course and in university, and my friend of my from childhood, he was studying in Stockholm School of Economics in Riga, so probably also a lot of people in Lithuania know this school, and he was leading investor club, and I had some budget I wanted to put in to work, and he told Sergey, so you should like invest in a fund. So it was 2008, like it's start of 2008. He told Sergey, so you should pick as a funding. So I have I already allocated my mother funds, so you should choose the funds, and one of the best performing like battery fund is you should invest in Russian stock market. I remember I went to the bank to open investment account. I remember I was filling the forms. I hopefully now our folks who are listening to us, who are already members of INDEMO community, I hope you don't feel the same when you're onboarding. Yeah, it was like big chunk of paper you needed to fill out to open the investment account. So you need to open the current account, then investment account, all the reason disclosure. So I don't know, I brought such a big file at home with all the paperwork. I opened the account, I allocated capital there, and I remember like when shit hits the fans, and like it was like 30-40% drop for the whole market, especially I suppose Russia was quite falling well there because it was all the natural resources stuff, and and I remember I closed the position. It was the market recovered in 2 years, and probably there was small loss, and I remember that I told so like stock market shits, I will not allocate anything, so it's really like some sort of fucking lottery. And basically the second investment opportunity which I had, it was like I allocated some capital in INDEMO products, so in discounted debt, so it's also in together with the folks, it's
tested
in a
one,
notes.
tested a second,
because like it's hard for you to like sell the products if you don't trust them. So I suppose the best mark for trust is like allocate your capital.
I mean, your friend's recommendation was and 2 months before the crisis. That's a bit of a reminder for anyone who get someone who's 100% convinced that this is like the best thing to do right now, and in a very specific market, a very specific time. Like, did you ever had a aha moment that you knew that this is it, the investing will be part of your life?
Well, I mean, I suppose if we look at ourselves, myself or you, being the kids, children of millennium, then we saw everything. Like we saw like financial crisis, and we saw wars, COVID. I don't know what else we haven't seen yet. Each of us understands that especially in our region, it's hard to be confident that you get the pension, age pension in the, or even we used to some quality of life. Yeah, so. Probably not of us wants when you go when you complete your active career, you will get the age pension from the government, which will afford you travel like used to things which you used to. I don't know, like go to the seaside. I don't know, like enjoy your life. Probably all of us now understand. So you should it will be great. It will be some support from the government, but you should basically the only support will be from you and from your decisions. like I will not say that I fully trust the financial freedom movement, that you should, I don't know, don't eat anything, just put the money in to work. You should still, financial independence, and other stuff. But still the good things are there. So from the day one when you start your professional life, starting earning, you should put something for your later days when your energy goes down. Like we are humans. So in the same way, I suppose also approach the idea that at one point I want to start like enjoying the life, maybe to like decrease the time I spent on like on working stuff, and like still not being told, or ill to enjoy that moment, So like. It's quite easy. So I would say about the investing, I when I was in a bank, I understood that it's time to think about how many, I don't know, what is the end age when I want to start like trying enjoying the things. Probably from 50 till 60 when you still could enjoy the life. Your kids are grown. Like basically you close your mortgages, and then you could just travel and, I don't know, do things for your joy, and maybe make some professional things for a couple of hours. So yeah, so I would say the main driver for that.
I read the statistics that I think I don't know about Latvians, but in Lithuanians, most likely the pension which is covered from like government will be about 30% of the paycheck you're receiving. And I also read the different statistics that in Germany, 2/3 of the money they receive in pension, like all money they receive, comes from their actual personal investments. And I think that's where the biggest gap happens between, Lithuanian pensions or Latvian pensions maybe and German pensions, because whenever you travel somewhere around the world, you see quite a lot of elderish people from Germany who just enjoying themselves.
Number one, yeah.
Like everywhere, like camping, chilling and so on and so on. You're like, how do you do that? It's like, you start investing, you support that, like, your only plan cannot be just government might take care of me in the future, like fingers crossed, let's hope. I think that if you take care about the money yourself, like that's the main and only person who will be taking care of it in a good way. Okay, if the viewers want to start, because they listened to quite a lot of things, they understood a bit behind the scenes of INDEMO platforms, and again, I think we're going to do quite a few of these podcasts in the future as INDEMO sort of expands their marketplace and offers more and more things. Where would you say the first step is for someone who's thinking right now, like, I want to try that, I want to see how that works, like where to go, what to do?
We were super focusing on making things simple.
I can advocate to that. It took me, I think, 4 or 5 minutes to actually register on the platform and get all of the confirmations. I actually filmed it in a first video, like literally step by step. Like that was one of the easiest experience I had with any financial instruments.
It will take you like 10-15 minutes through your smart device, like your smartphone or tablet or like PC, to go through the onboarding. So you need one thing, it's your face, basically your smartphone and your ID. And that's it. By a couple of pushes, you could deposit money, and that's it. So you will get the email confirming that your account is set, your deposit is approved, and you're ready to start investing. And as I told, you could try out even with €10, like the price of average business lunch somewhere in Vilnius or Riga.
Let's talk a little bit about the promo which currently exists. I remember you were telling me about battling banks on this instance. So let's talk about the fast track and how does that work.
Sure.
We'll leave all the links in the description for folks to calculate, because I think you've done a Lithuanian language landing page which was accessible, super easy to use in terms
of... And we are translating the main page now in Lithuanian. So probably soon, when our podcast will be ready, maybe it will be even live, or it will come out in a couple of weeks after.
Perfect. Let's talk how that banking deposit fast track opportunity works. Like what's the idea behind it?
Yeah, idea is quite simple. So let's imagine like when we start with like each of us start our investing journey, probably the first product you will approach, or it will approach you. It
Most
will
likely approach you.
It will approach you. Yeah, it is bank deposit. So like, park some money at bank. The bank will pay you some slight minor rate. The bank will earn on that money quite more, and you will get these tiers. I mean, in a year or so. Okay, yeah. Solution probably, but we wanted to make slight to challenge the banks, I would say, because we love banks. Banks are our partners, but we need to challenge them. Otherwise, they will become lazy. What we offered why it's called fast track. Like, what is fast track in the airport? You don't need to be in a big queue waiting for the security check. You go straight away where everybody are staying. Same as here. You don't to be in a big queue for 1 year in a bank. You could deposit your money at INDEMO, invest in discounted debts, and get the instant cashback, which will be similar to the average rates which bank offers. And that's it. So you basically boost your investment not just by the return on investment under discounted debts, but you also add like some sort of combo with this cashback which we currently offer to like grow.
So in a sense, let's take an example. I think I've done a video with fast track usability for like 1,500 euros invested, and I believe it's like 2% something rate. So the moment I invest that 1,500, I literally straight away get the equivalent percentage. Obviously, there's a gap. Like if I invest more, I get more percentage, but I get the money back straight into my account, which was like literally took 1 second. Like I haven't even seen my account drop to zero. It's like I invested straight away. I got, I think, 30 or 40 euros as a return just because I invested the money. So it's the return, which normally takes in a banking industry a year, it's instant right here, right now. Use it for investments, use it for other opportunities, and that's it.
Yeah. So let's like use the same example. For example, you make the investment of 3,000 euro, which is average check, average ticket usually on INDEMO currently. So then you get the instant. The current rate for such investment will be around 2.5. So you get basically around 80 euro as an instant cashback, and you then invest everything, like your 3,000 together with 80 euro into investment, into discounted debts, and basically you earn on this total amount 15% per annum, which is expected to, or maybe higher.
Yeah, that's great results and great motivation for people. All right.
Sure. Yeah.
I think we'll end here because there's quite a lot of information already for everyone to tackle and for everyone to review. Thank you everyone for watching. If you have any questions, INDEMO I think is specifically great at actually answering questions, and they also have a different group with I believe it's someone from INDEMO sitting in the Telegram group answering questions.
Basically, it's myself and other folks, so we are very tied to the community. So. Our main value proposition, especially I mean in our past, is to reach the community and community feel comfortable, because like
I definitely see
it's number one for us, like satisfaction of the community.
I remember asking you a question about how the priorities goes once you invest in the node, to how the objects are picked up, because I was like, I'm curious. It's very specific. I don't know if there's anything in QICs or like where to find that information. And Sergey is like, oh, we already answered that on the discussion forum. Have you checked that one? I'm like, oh, okay. And it's like, step after step after step with everything quite clear. I think that's one of the very good bonuses as a team. So a team well done in a sense.
Thanks to my team.
Yeah, cool. All right. Folks, if you have any questions, if you have any sort of ideas what you want to clarify, or some thoughts on like the other marketplaces, what you want to see in INDEMO, and what potentially how the fast track produced you great returns, feel free to share in the comments. And if you have anything what you want to ask, INDEMO normally answers majority of the things straight on the community groups. I will leave all of the links, and if you want to try that out, I do suggest to just simply do invest even if you're really sort of risk aware and you don't want to be, I don't know, risking high sums. Invest at least a little amount of money. You'll see how that works. Suddenly your portfolio will increase. At least that happened to me. I think my first investment was 250. 3 months down the line, I think I have like 7K invested, and that's I already have goals by end of the year to reach 10K and sort of build from there. All right, I'll leave it at this. Thank you, Sergey, for spending the time, and I'll see everyone else in near future.
Thank you, Emilis, for hosting me, and see you soon.
Cool.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.